Hey, going to Brazil for a good time. Gonna get live in Sao Paulo. Hey, going to Brazil for a good time. Gonna get live in Sao Paulo.
São Paulo, or Sampa as the Brazilians themselves call this metropole, is with its 22 million inhabitants the largest city of the Southern Hemisphere, one of the world's fastest growing metropoles. Over time it developed into a very important economic core. 63% of multinationals are located in the city and it has the 11th highest GDP in the world. São Paulo has a rich history dating back to 1554 when the Portuguese priests founded a missionary and a school. São Paulo has the first highland settlement established in Brazil, occupying the lower terrace of the river Tseri. A city where dozens of nationalities live and share a strong sense of identity. It's also a city buzzing with air traffic, a normal way of transportation for the richest inhabitants to fly from a meeting to meeting and bypassing the meandering buses and cars traffic jams down below. But this is not the whole story. This is the famous image of Morumbi. It shows a big contrast in living conditions in São Paulo. You don't have to be an urbanist to understand the meaning of this image. It shows decaying informal settlements called favelas in contrast to the gated community. We ask ourselves, is São Paulo as segregated as we fear? We aim to find São Paulo's common ground. We interviewed 5 professionals and inhabitants to find out about São Paulo's metabolism. Let us introduce them.
My name is Fernanda.
My name is Jorrit Albers.
My name is Beatriz.
My name is Roberto. There is nobody planning this. It is planned, so to speak, through the implementation of infrastructure. And generally infrastructure related to highways, right? A huge last mile problem. So we have, I'm always amazed when I come to Sao Paulo to see the transport infrastructure. You wouldn't believe, like there are so many bus terminals and metro lines and buses. So it's a city that invests a lot in mobility, but it has a huge problem of last mile services.
I lived very close to my work. I used to go by car, and it used to be 5 minutes by car. But it's not safe to go walking. So that's interesting. We don't go walking even when it's very close.
You have a car, you just go like straight to where you want to go. But with the buses, there are like a lot of stops. So it's like if you have always like these, the bus do like this. So that's why.
I did travel sometimes to the more central part of the city. So it to go there by different buses and maybe even also a metro or but it will take like 2 or 2.5 hours to go to a certain place.
Who live in the peripheries of the city are the ones that suffer the most. I would say that they live their lives a little bit separately normally, but there are many occasions where they meet. There are many events and there are many spaces in the city where you can see everybody together. I mean, the gay pride is one for sure. If you go to parks, people are mixed.
Usually people that has more money goes on the morning, like very early for jogging and stuff like that. But people that live more distant, they go later because they get like 2 hours or 2 hours and a half to get in the park.
Go to a park in the morning because they're dangerous to run. So you run, or in my building there was a gym, or you have your gym in your house, or you run inside the clubs.
If you are a middle class or rich person, you are mostly on your car and you go from the school to the shopping center to your condominium, right? And that makes your life a little bit isolated. In normal life, I think people are a little bit segregated.
People already there ask me, what are you doing here? Because for let's say people that live in the city center or the more let's say richer part of the people, they wouldn't even go there.
In São Paulo, if you are from like a poor neighborhood, you talk more with your neighbors and you are closer. But if you are from like a rich neighborhood, you usually people just like take care of their own business and you don't do small talks or you don't. They are on the streets and they are drinking together, they are partying together, but you don't see that on rich neighborhoods. They stay all in their own small place.
Everything is close by. Everything in this bubble. You go to bars and restaurants, but they are also very inside of this bubble, inside of this high profile.
I know people that never went to the central area before because they had everything there. I mean, schools and supermarkets and stuff, but for like culture and hobby stuff, they were never in central areas.
Very nice sense of sharing, way more than the rich communities. And it's interesting because I think in the lower class in Brazil, people, they help a lot each other.
It's good because they could counting with each other, you know, they could ask for help with food, help with taking care of the children, help with everything.
One's living proximity to the main center seems to be dictated more and more by income. And besides that, the difference in travel time between higher and lower incomes is shocking. When people have to take the bus, the travel time can take more than 3 times as much when they have access to a car. This has impact on the way public spaces are used. Parks are very accessible to higher income classes, but lower income groups have longer commute to parks. It's not uncommon that wealthy inhabitants can use the parks at 7 in the morning to go for a jog, while the lower income groups can get access early afternoon. The highest income group being an exception, having their own sporting clubs. What is apparent from the interviews is that people from the highest and lowest social classes don't mix. The city does make progress in this department. Avenue Paulista has been opened on Sundays to pedestrians and cyclists, giving more room to find common ground.